We're going to go right into hot topics here. And sometimes we pick topics out like, ooh, let's see what happened out there in the atmosphere, of college basketball and the NBA. Boy, that was a bad beat. Well, this bad beat really hurt me last night, Teddy, with Abilene Christian. I know there was another large one with LSU. Let's get right after, Teddy. Did you see any one of these epic meltdowns yesterday?
Well, we got to describe them whether you saw them or not. They're both as brutal as it gets when it comes to bad beats. And listen, make no mistake about it. If you bet, you will inevitably suffer some of these. The goal is not to suffer many of these on a night-in, night-out basis, but absolutely brutal. Which one should we go to? LSU. Okay, they're up 12. They have 14 seconds left, and they have the ball. Game over. Ticket cashed. Except for that, they go, let's go in and try a crazy dunk. Instead of dribbling it out, the crazy dunk bounces off the rim. Georgia hits a three on the other end. LSU gets a free throw, one of two free throws, minus 11. They end up winning by 10 in a spot where they're supposed to win by 12, every bit as much as the Saints are supposed to kick the game-winning field goal. Abilene Christian might have been worse, though. Why don't you describe that one? I'm sure you enjoyed it.
It hurt me, Teddy, because we've been doing this a long time, and, when you wake up the next morning, you can relive it a little bit, and you move on, you cap your games, and it happens, and those breaks will come back to you. But my goodness, I'm watching the game live. I'm sitting on a -1 ticket, and don't even get me started. I know people have to, hey, Donnie, I got the +1. Well, that's great if you got the +1. I got the -1 about an hour before tip there. And I watched the game, Abilene Christian, Teddy, up 8 at the half in control. A little bit of a run by Stephen F. Austin early to take a 2-point lead, but complete control goes back to Abilene Christian. To fast forward to the last minute, 1-and-1 situation, 36 seconds left on the clock, and they're up 7. Make one, miss one, it doesn't really matter. Dribble the ball down the court, a tie-up. All hell starts to break loose, and it all starts with this, Teddy, which I know you've seen time and time again. It's a 6-point game with, I think, like 26 seconds left to go. All you have to do in these spots when you're in 1-and-1, run your guard up, grab the ball, and they will foul you. So Abilene Christian decides, Teddy, for the almighty, let's just throw a Hail Mary pass out of nowhere. It gets intercepted. 3 seconds later, a dunk. Inbound the ball. All you have to do, Teddy, as we know as gamblers and people that have played any competitive sport, just hold the ball. They dribble the ball off their knee for another turnover and another layup. 2-point game. You have your best free throw shooter out there in a 1-and-1. Brother, just hit one and force it maybe. You don't have to come down and hit a 3. Of course it goes in and out. Of course Stephen F. Austin comes down. Of course they raise up James Harden style and drain a 3, 61-60 winner, Teddy. And I had a hard time falling asleep last night.
You're gonna. The bad beats are tough to deal with. They will happen. It doesn't matter how long you bet. It's still a gut punch when they happen. And when you have a 7-point lead with 26 seconds left in regulation, you're supposed to cash +1s or -1s or even -2s. Unfortunately, didn't happen for you last night. But the key is when these beats happen, have your moment, scream, yell, go punch a wall, do what you need to do. You can't let it eat you alive into the next day. You're allowed to be pissed that night. Take your 20 minutes, go yell at somebody, do what you need to do, but flush it so you wake up the next morning ready to go and this stuff doesn't hang over your head because they're going to happen. If you can't deal with them, you can't bet seriously. And it's just there's no other way around it.
Absolutely. And just one little key bit of ingredients there that Teddy's talking about there is, yes, at the end of the game, you can scream out loud, I will never bet Abilene Christian again. But you know what the next time they play is? You better be digging for that information and digging once more because if there is value, you should be betting Abilene Christian again. But always fun there. Just not fun when those bad beats come our way. James Harden, he's having a little bit of fun, Teddy. Up in the Garden, having his own party. 61 points. And again, Teddy, not a single assisted basket. It's all James Harden. We've played basketball before, hung out with friends, even at the playground playing pickup basketball, where you stand around and say, all right, James, go get your points again while I stand out here. It's a great thing to watch as a fan, not so much as a teammate and not so much for usage rate, because how much will we have left in the tank as we continually talk about this, Teddy, when we head into the playoffs with the Houston Rockets?
Well, James Harden's been a loser in the playoffs when he's been rested. I don't think it's going to make a difference when he's been completely gassed at the end of the season. The Rockets aren't championship contenders. They're not even close to being championship contenders. Struggling against the Knicks last night, a point spread disaster area. Kenneth Faried is going to help that team a lot. There's a pickup that doesn't affect the point spread a whole lot, but playing without Clint Capella, he matters Of course, James Harden matters a little bit too. It was funny. I was doing a radio show yesterday here in Las Vegas, and there was talk about the discussion was, will Harden hit 60 this season? Guys like, no, Harden will never hit 60. It's not too much usage. They're not going to use him that way. And of course, last night he goes for 61, his career high. But again, assisted on 0 of those baskets. It's all one-on-one basketball. The Rockets, they're not a team I'm looking to bet on. I'll just put it that way. Not tonight, not last night, and not moving forward. There are issues in Houston, despite the strong level of play from their superstar.
I believe Harden got to the line 25 times last night, which I know everybody watches, and that little head flip back, and if you touch his beard, it's a foul. We'll see how it goes forward, but it's amazing to watch how many times that he's hit 30 points. We'll see when that string continues or if it ends anytime soon here. Big injury, Teddy, in the Eastern Conference in the NBA last night. Victor Oladipo goes down, averaging 19, 5, and 5. Pacers currently sitting in the 3rd spot. I haven't had final confirmation yet, but if you're reading the tea leaves or what's coming out from beat writers, from ESPN or whatever outlet that you're watching, looks like a pretty serious injury to Oladipo. Not to say the Indiana Pacers were even going to win, the NBA title, but maybe a player in the Eastern Conference. But that certainly takes a hit both during the season and also betting-wise and value, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana's been a nice little moneymaker for their supporters throughout the first half, and they may continue to be. When an injury like this strikes, the betting markets tend to overreact before they underreact. Just look at the Wizards without John Wall. Again, what are they, 8-3 the number since Wall got hurt, just like they did last year. The betting markets, when a team's best player gets hurt, they crash. And that will happen with Indiana. I'm interested to see how hard the Pacers crash in the markets when we start to look at tomorrow's point spreads. But look, let's be realistic. Indiana, they're the 5th best team in the East with a healthy Oladipo. The Sixers, the Celtics, and of course, the Bucks and Raptors, all better than Indiana with a healthy Oladipo. In terms of future odds, doesn't make any difference. Pacers were not winning 3 series in the East come April and May. But from a point spread perspective, let's see where the Pacers are priced right now. There may actually be value on Indiana in the games to come.